Okay, Leo, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. You had a very long, fancy title. So this is Leo from Google, and you're what?
I'm the North and Central Eastern European social regional product expert.
Awesome.
That's a great title.
That's a very cool title.
For short, we just call it, I'm the regional social expert. On the we Google, when we talk about social, that's our social products like Google Plus.
Like Google Plus. Cool. Then you're the right man to talk to. I'm very involved in social media.
Mm-hmm.
And FanBooster is very involved in the Facebook marketing part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we go, we hear chatter, rumors, thoughts about Google Plus. Good things, bad things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to find someone to give me some kind of answers in terms of where Google Plus is and where it's going.
Yeah.
So we can start with, I'm wondering, what is Google Plus for Google right now?
Right. So Google Plus is our main social product. So that means Google Plus is the place where you can, like any other social media channel, go in as a brand, for instance, create a page, develop the content you love and spread that across your social channel, for instance, and get engagement on top of that. Now, of course, Google Plus is it's a Google product, so it's not like any other social product.
Okay.
What we try to do is to give you the insight as a user to actually find content that matters to you, the things that you're really interested in, and also for brands being able for them to share the content they love with people that can engage with it. So that is what it is.
So instead of Googling it, Google kind of figures out based on your social profile what content you actually care about.
That is part of it, yes. But in short, you go in and as any other social product, you go in, you follow the things you want to like. You can put them into circles, which was one of the cool things that was there when we arrived. Some might say it's a bit complicated. It used to take a bit of time to curate. Now it's a bit simpler.
Okay.
The product has been maturing over the years.
And have Google Plus kind of become the thing that you wanted it to be? I mean,
yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah,
and I wasn't here when Google Plus was launched and when it was created. But what I've kind of gathered, looking internally, looking externally, of course, at what we have is that, in short, Google Plus was supposed to become a bigger. It was supposed to be something completely different than what it actually ended up as.
Okay.
I can't say from what the reason why the previous leadership did that, but the whole mindset was it was supposed to become your hub across all Google products. It still is. It still is. If you like something on the YouTube and that channel is connected to Google Plus, it will actually be visible both places. If you go to our Google Play Store and like something, you plus one it. That will also be filtered across. So it has been integrated into as a whole. Now, in the recent couple of weeks, there's been some announcements from our end, from Sundar, especially Sundar Pichai, our product head, basically. He's the one guy reporting to Larry. Everyone else is reporting to him.
On the G Plus.
On all products.
On all products.
Androids, Chromes, and anything.
Yeah.
And Sundar has been saying that maybe we should rethink the way we approach Google Plus. And basically what he said was, we might look at G Plus in a different light. And he specifically said, communications, photos, and the stream. That was the three things he wanted to look at.
Okay.
So that's for us, of course, very exciting. And just following that week, there was announced a new leadership in the Google Plus team, which is very exciting for everyone who works with social. So Bradley Horowitz, who was part of, actually, fun fact, he made Google Plus, Google New Reader, the good old Google Reader product, before he joined this team and created Google Plus.
Cool. So the creator of Google Reader
and Google Plus is now heading Google Plus.
That's interesting. But you said photos, communication, and stream.
Yes.
That's the main three kind of products within Google Plus now.
Well, no, I'm not saying that's the products because that has not been announced.
Okay, but
level,
the thought
mindset from Sundar has been in terms of that. Those are the three kind of focus areas.
Yeah.
And I think that mirrors quite clearly that Sindar is really connecting with what's going on in the marketplace. If you
Yeah.
look at, what does the other major players have of products, they are usually separated into those three buckets.
True.
So we're not just following a trend, but we're using the power that we have in Google, which is the biggest. We're the biggest on intent data. We know what you want right now. We don't know what you said you liked a couple of years ago. We don't know where you go to your school, for instance. That's not really relevant. We think that's relevant is what you're doing now, and the signals you're giving. So we're big on signals.
So most guys I know that work with social says that Google Plus is interesting, but there are not a lot of people actually using it.
Right.
So I'm aware you can't share facts, but as a marketer, would you recommend? Of course you would, but you would recommend using time and energy on a Google Plus presence?
Yes, I would. And there's even if I wasn't working for Google, I would still recommend it.
Okay.
And the reason I would is because there's basically two things. The main one is that even though people are saying it's not as big as the competitors, it's still a huge site, and it's the only site where you can't buy yourself, as in pay your way through promotion, to reaching users.
Yeah.
You have to earn that by actually users being interested. Now that turns the whole dynamic of a one big channel where you have to compete for a very limited space into making hundreds and millions of individual interest streams.
Yeah.
So, people are interested in different stuff. For instance, I love Porsches. That's why I follow the Porsche channel, and I get relevant updates that I care about.
Huh.
And that's also in the social product that influences my what's hot, right? That usually is centered around cars, because that's a lot of things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And that also looks at a lot of the other stuff that I'm doing on my Google profile, because all the data is collected across the Google system, right?
So last question then is, as a brand on Google Plus,
Yeah.
what 2-3 steps should you take today to start building your Google Plus audience and presence? And
And that's my other point.
Yes.
That's you're pointing out there, and that's I would really. The first step would be use your social content that you already are creating in other channels. Just publish it on the Google Plus page, brand page as well, because it will give you a lot of free organic reach, as I was mentioning. So the main point I would say is that take your social content that you have on the places, put it there as well. Now you have to, after a while, you need to start adapting to the main platform, but I would just put my content
As
on
a
there
start.
as a start,
Yeah.
and then get it up there, and then start to measure: am I getting referral traffic? Am I getting relevant? How many people are actually engaging with my post? Not necessarily the plus ones or the reshares, but actually the traffic going through your channel to the other end. So I would of course be marking that with some sort of tracking device, tracking URL, to make sure that I actually understand what it is. So that's kind of my main top tip. It's all there.
Start posting
there. And when you're getting a bit more savvy and you're happy that you're getting the results you want, I would be focusing on actually reaching people outside the stream. Using the two main features of Google Plus, which are unique. The one is the Plus Post ads, which is basically the way to use our global display network to reach users with your social content. That's a great feature.
That's really cool.
And the other part is the promoted Hangouts, which is all about making sure you reach people through a one-to-one live session with a video camera, so with a video VC solution.
Cool.
And that there's a lot of great samples of brands taking that to the next level. But of course, I'm talking as a marketeer of a big company, right? Not like a small operator, but that's kind of the third and biggest step.
And super last question.
Yeah.
Next year,
yes.
Will Google Plus still be there? Will it be something else, or will it still be the things that it's to now?
I can't predict the future, but I would be surprised. We're Google. We like to do things a bit differently. We like to try new things as well, and so there will be changes. You can guarantee there will be changes to the system, to the product, and hopefully more than we see in the last couple of years. And I mean, whenever a division in Google gets a new leadership, obviously things change.
Yeah.
So there are going to be. I'm positive there are going to be changes. What they are, they're probably going to be better for both you and me, as both marketeers or for consumers. So it's going to be. I'm really excited for the future.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.